This watercolor shows my imagined future of a world without borders. I decided to depict the temperate rainforest that I'm from in Washington State and British Columbia, and this painting takes place at what was once the nation-state border between Canada and the United States, but all that remains of that sort of militarized, impermeable border is just a rusted-out fence that a tree has fully consumed. And in the second part of this art, I tried to title this piece, but I couldn't come up with just one title. I was trying to show that while the tree is the central figure that meets the eye, I don't want to think of this painting as a portrait of a tree, as a bounded individual that's highlighted. I think of it as a portrait of a river, because all the water that drips through the leaves and the moss is part of the river. What happens to that water happens to the river. I think of it as the portrait of a virus, because where do viruses like SARS-CoV-2 come from? Well, they often come from forests, from wild spaces, and if those aren't disturbed by things like borders, then the viruses can continue to live in that habitat, and we don't end up with a pandemic, but we still have that diversity of organisms, including viruses, in place. I thought it might be the portrait of a capital, because in this imagined future, political decisions don't just take place within privileged walls, but the voices of many more stakeholders are powerful, including the land and the water and many, many forms of human and non-human life.
One world. Overwhelming possibilities, nurtured by everyone. Wondering at the offers of reconciliation and authentic love of one another and the domain we share.
When I was a kid, they called me a chameleon. I was able to move between groups and between worlds with ease, changing my colors as it needed to change. I was born half black, half white, and I learned this skill from years of experience living between two worlds. My favorite quote is from Master Shiro Nomura to one of his mixed-race students. "The world is a very small place, and people like you are now being born every day. How exciting. You are new people. New people must have new stories, new cultures, and new art forms. You must take the things I give you and make them your own." His student says, "I remember this, and I continue to create work for and about the new people. New people exist beyond the borders."
A Vision for the Future. A poem by Lindsay Way, inspired by two quotations. The first from Gloria Anzaldúa. "I change myself, I change the world." The second from Tuck and Wayne Yang. Decolonizing the mind is the first step, not the only step, toward overthrowing colonial regimes. Spring again. Another generation of sparrows builds its home inside the jar on my porch. 1 year ago, their songs beckoned me outside while talk radio squawked the opposite. Their handiwork is visible, a daily build, twine from the garden trellis or loose hair I brushed from the dog yesterday. They cannot see the work I do, the work of undoing. I have spent this idle year anything but. I have spent it unpacking, healing, wondering which devastating world issue to tackle while stringing twine for this year's peas, and then remembering my own capacity to love while brushing the dog's double coat yet again. I am giving birth to a new version of myself, changed in isolation. This version is softer, kinder, warmer. It listens, holds hands to heart when people speak truths, is slow to react to vitriol. It knows venom is spit only from those who don't see humanity in the mirror or the world. This version greets each morning with warmth, a hot cup of tea, and radiating reassurance. You are enough. You have enough. Give, share. It is this version, too, that provides a glass jar on the front porch for birds to call home, despite my partner's worries for the precariousness of the situation, balanced high on a small ledge. It checks on the nest, counts the eggs. This time, I am ready to emerge.